Admitting to this is truly one of the most difficult and embarrassing things that have done with money. And it goes back to Mexico when Mauricio and I were serving as diplomats down there. Melina was attending a Montessori school, not because, I'm a fan of Montessori over any other program, but in Mexico, because Mexico City is such a big city. I needed somewhere easy. And this school was literally like 200 yards from our house. And it was a nice school. And it was safe and secure, which in Mexico is a big thing. So we got her in this school, and it was like a super high-end Mexican school. So all of the people who had their kids going there were the upper crust, shall we say, of Mexico. And so we clearly were well below their incomes, but whatever. So Melina's birthday is towards the beginning of the school year. And at that time, we had only been invited to one other birthday party. And from talking to some of the other people that I knew there, I had discovered that the party that we had gone to was pretty much typical for the upper income earners in Mexico. And, we're talking like open bar, catered, things to do for the kids, things to do for the adults. Yeah, it was like over the top. So Melina was 3 at the time, and we wanted to have a fun birthday party for her. And Frozen had just come out. So there weren't a ton of Frozen things out there, but she loved Frozen. Like legit, I had seen the movie a million times. I guess it had just come out on DVD. But Melina loved Frozen and wanted Frozen everything. So we wanted to have the party at our house. That would have been typical, get a bouncy castle and everything. But the way our house was situated, we didn't have anywhere for lots of cars to park. And it was a enclosed compound type thing. And we knew we would be inviting a bunch of people into our home that we didn't know. So instead, we opted to have Melina's birthday party at a facility that was designed to host kids' birthday parties. And it was this really amazing facility that had this huge climbing gym and ball pit, and then this giant room where you could decorate, and then an entranceway that you had space for an open bar and, a buffet sort of thing, or you could have wait staff deliver the food to the table. That place wasn't terribly expensive by US standards. It was maybe $200 for 4 hours, which compared to the places in Washington, D.C., really cheap. Because, something like that in DC probably would cost upwards of, $750 for just a 2-hour session. So we settled on the place and the theme, and we knew we were going to have Frozen. And it was impossible to get anything really Frozen through Amazon or anything, because I could get Amazon down there. And so I had to kind of design everything myself. The place we rented from gave us the contact information of an acting troupe that would come out and reenact Frozen for us. And so we went ahead and hired them, and it was for kids and the participating, and the kids loved the storytelling. And we had a place to take pictures, like a photo backdrop and a cardboard stand-up that I had gotten. The party just kept ballooning. It kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We hired a caterer that specialized in Colombian food. When we lived in Mexico, Mauricio and I loved going to the movies. And because they had the VIP movie theaters, which were actually cheaper than, your standard US movie theater. So at this movie theater, they had this bartender, and he was wonderful, and he would make us amazing drinks. And we over the years, got to know him. And so we asked him if he would come and be the bartender for our party. And so we obviously paid him for that. Then he brought some of his friends to serve as wait staff for the beverages. Everything just started to spiral. They had chairs and tables, but we needed chair covers. And the chairs that they had at the facility were in odd shape. So instead of buying chair covers, or instead of not covering the chair at all, which, you know, would have been totally legit, I bought cheap white fabric and we draped them over, and then we made these really awesome little decorations for the back to tie the chair cover to the chair, and it looked really pretty. And then we had tablecloths, and in the middle of each table I had gotten, you know, just some branches and painted them silver, and we hung snowflakes off of them, crystal snowflakes, not crystal, but glass and plastic snowflake. And there were balloons everywhere. We actually hired somebody to come in and blow up balloons, and there must have been 1,000 balloons. I mean, so many balloons. We had a backdrop behind where you put the presents and where the cake was sitting. So one of the reasons we had all the backdrops rather than just hanging them on the wall is the rule with the place is that you could not hang anything on the wall. That was the rule. So we got a lot of backdrop stands, and that's what we used to decorate the area. And then we had a candy bar, which was like sweet treats for after, you know, and then we had a custom cake, and then we had a little mini cake because Melina was allergic to everything under the sun when she was young. We had a piñata that we had gotten there in Mexico, because piñatas, that's one of the easy things to get down in Mexico. But just so you know, piñatas in Mexico are not just for the kids. So they're made super durable. I mean, you really have to take like a baseball bat to these things. They're made for, you know, men to bang at and not fall apart. So I got a bunch of candy to fill that up, and jammed packed with American candies, because I was not putting chili powdered covered mango candies, because ew. Not to judge people that like that, but ew. Okay, I'm a little judgy. It's gross. Yeah, I don't want my candy to be salty and spicy. No. And the goodie bags were all like these custom made little frozen purses, but they were filled with like a frozen book and, you know, a bunch of other little things. It just so rapidly spiraled out of control. And I didn't really, this was before the day of, you know, short-term savings funds. So we didn't really have anything saved or planned for this. It just was kind of just happened. So about a week after the whole thing was over, I totaled up the number, and it was, I don't remember the exact number now, but that party ended up, with everything, ended up costing us over $7,000. And looking back on that, I'm disgusted with myself. I mean, there's nothing I can do to change it but learn from it. And oh, trust me, I did. When I saw the number all totaled up, I was like sick to my stomach. Because, you know, it had been like 2 to 3 months where I was purchasing things for her party. I planned this party for a long time. And I mean, it was fun, but was it was a 3-year-old's birthday party. Clearly, I will never be doing that again. So I'll see you in the next one.